Hey, welcome to On the Record with Chaii, a Play It Strange podcast. I'm Chaii, artist, producer, creative director, and a Play It Strange alumni. We're here to unpack different corners of the music industry, one step at a time. Let's go. On this episode, we're joined by Mazbou Q, artist, producer, content creator, and he's also known as the rap scientist. With over 437,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok, his theory-based approach to rap flow has gained recognition in the industry. He's lectured at Harvard, Berklee, LSU, and more. He's an artist pushing the boundaries of hip-hop. Here's our chat with Mazbou Q. Mazbou Q.
What's up?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
What has 2025 looked like so far? Crazy.
Yeah, it's been a wild year. I've done a few things. Probably the big two for me were Beyond the Beat, that sort of project that I did with the 5 rising stars, and we did reimaginations of some more hit makers, and then also I've been working with the Olympics team, the Winter Olympics team, which has been incredible.
God.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, that was crazy. I actually made the connection a few years ago. I emailed them saying, hey, I'd love to make some music for the Summer Olympics. They already had something in the works, but they got in touch with me this year and they're like, hey, man, look, we're doing the Winter Olympics. Come through. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Ask and you shall receive.
Ask.
That has been the common theme, I think, with everyone that we've been chatting to.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
You've been known for many things in the music industry. I mean, we go way back, so I've seen it all. Session drummer, artist, formerly known as Unchained Excel. You're a producer, lecturer, and now you're also known as the rap scientist. Tell us about the journey and how you've landed where you are now.
Yeah, so it all started in school. I was a music nerd in school. I was always at lunchtimes. I was always in the music room making beats on Fruity Loops 3. It wasn't FL Studio. It was Fruity Loops 3, Sibelius and stuff. But I was very just interested in widening my scope when I was young. Like, I wasn't interested in just doing one thing. I wanted to play drums, play bass, do vocals, do all this kind of stuff. So when I eventually went into university, I studied engineering there because my parents didn't want a bar of music, but I was still doing music on the side in many different forms. I was in a band, I was doing my own stuff and so on and so forth. So naturally, when I started to make music my own career, my full-time career, I was just doing a bunch of stuff. So making my own music, making music for other people, just putting my fingers in many pies, and as a result, it just all came together as, a few different things,
So it's a good thing, I can relate to that. And doing those many things, and at times, like when you're earlier in your career, you might think of it as like people look at you as like, what are they doing? Like, why are they like jumping between things and da-da-da? But then when you look back, like, when people do have that passion in those different areas, would you tell them to, go and...
100%. Like, I've been doing full-time music since 2017, which is something that a lot of people aren't able to do. And I credit it a lot to the diversifying of, my skill set and stuff.
Add it to the list.
That's the one.
You've built 437,000 followers across TikTok and Instagram, which is huge. What inspired you to start posting as the rap scientist, and how did that grow such a large community online?
Yeah, it was actually a post in 2021 that I chucked on TikTok. It was called "Don't Rap on Beat, Rap Behind the Beat," and I was actually promoting a song. I wasn't trying to teach or anything like that. I was just explaining my process behind a song that I did. And that just blew up. So I just kept making, videos like that. And they started calling me the rap professor, the rap scientist. I'm like, this is kind of corny, but let me just lean into it. Yeah. And so I did. And it just evolved into this thing where I'd like dig deep into the rhythm theory and tie it to rap and stuff. And people really loved it because they hadn't seen hip hop sort of communicated in a way that was analytical and theorized.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it does, I know you just summed it up really quickly, but it was like a lot of, obviously you putting out, like analyzing it and being like, okay, that's worked. And then like planning it and then going and posting consistently and good quality. Obviously you were like
that's
across
the ton of content and ton of trial and error. Figuring out the balance between analyzing music that wasn't mine versus analyzing music that was mine, because my core intention was still to promote myself as an artist and a rapper. So it was figuring out all these things. I had to learn how to edit, learn about lighting, learn all the video stuff, you know what I'm saying, and just learn the schedule of consistency that worked for me as well. Back in 2021, social media was all about post. It's less about that now. It's more about like posting high quality stuff. and being consistent with it. So it's
And the concept, I guess,
that's the one. Yeah, providing value to an audience, not just promoting yourself. So yeah, a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
What are some simple ways that you would tell young artists to build their audience?
On social media?
On social media.
Yeah.
Or build their audience in general. I think.
Okay. So I actually think the most important thing to do is realize that we are in a value-driven economy when it comes to social media. So like I said, you can't get online and just promote yourself or just post what you've been doing. You need to figure out how to provide value to an audience that does not care about you, right? And so I talk about this kind of 5 E's thing, entertaining, edgy, educational, emotive, and there's one more, extraordinary. So your content should fall into one of those pillars. And if it does, then it's providing value to people. They're going to want to see it. And then the next challenge is to try and integrate your music into that. So for example, if you want to be educational like me, you can teach people how to make music, the way you know some vocal techniques, anything that you implement in your own music that could be of value to people. Or if you're doing something entertaining, you could do a skit. Or if you're doing something emotive, you could highlight a bit of your song, which really tugs on people, generates discussion. You know what I'm saying? But you need to give people a reason to come in and see you, come to your page and consume your stuff, but at the same time integrate your music in there.
So what are some mistakes that you see new artists making, and how can they avoid it? I guess it's hard to say that some things are mistakes, because sometimes those mistakes are the reason people do well. So it's really hard to, I know, to say don't do this and don't do that. But what are some things that you kind of see and you'd kind of be like, okay,
okay,
maybe
so
not that.
I'd say there are 3 big mistakes. The first one is people who don't post at all. People who are just like, oh, I just want to be a musician. I want to be an artist. I'm not a content creator, and then don't post. If you don't want to put your music out there, then you're a hobbyist. You know, if you're good with being a hobbyist, that's cool. But don't not post and then wonder why your music's not getting anywhere. The second mistake people make is just, like I said, just post about themselves, post about them being in the studio, post about their music or anything like that, without realizing that the people who are scrolling their feeds don't know you, so they don't care. They don't care about your studio time. They don't care about your process because they don't know who you are. You need to give them value, right? The other mistake is the people who lean too much into trends and viral stuff and creating value without tying it to the music. So you end up with this brand that's not even related to your music at all. You might be this comedian person. You might get massive of being a comedian, and then no one checks out your music. And then when you push your music, people get pissed off because they're like, this is not why I followed you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to integrate your music along the way the whole time. Yeah.
There has been, I think, I've had a few artist friends who've fallen into
that trap,
that, and then they're like, oh, but that's not what I want to be known for, or and it's sometimes even harder to bring yourself out of that, even though it's seen as like, oh yeah, but you got an audience there now, but that person deep down might just want to, they want to be known as more of an artist, or their production work or whatever they're doing. So it's put out what you want to be known for.
Exactly.
Like
it
put
has
your
to be
focus
tightly
into that.
integrated the whole way.
Yeah. So the tertiary space, I've seen that you've been in that space a lot, and does the work in the tertiary space now influence your career?
Yeah, 100% it does. So it was really cool being able to connect with students in a university setting and sort of present hip hop in a way that can be analyzed and understood in the same way that they might be learning about jazz or classical or something like that. And then that kind of, it influenced me to just elevate the more technical side of my music. A, so I can use it for teaching, but B, just because I just find it interesting. Like, I find it cool that you can push rap in the same way that you can push jazz, or you can push, when it comes to me, specifically rap flow, I'm looking at ways to integrate different time signatures and, all this crazy stuff that hasn't really been done with too much depth within rap. And I saw that opportunity after having taught some rhythm stuff in uni. So I'm like, let me do that in my own music. And it's
so it's like being both way,
Yeah.
While you're teaching, you're kind of also learning.
Yeah.
What do you think is a technical or a creative skill in hip hop that that you think people tend to overlook?
Honestly, okay. So having done a lot of mentoring in school, it's very clear the people who have an intuitive grasp on rhythm, like a deeply intuitive grasp on rhythm, and people that do not. And trying to get people to understand rhythm intuitively is very difficult. And so the idea that some people know, for example, just instinctively how triplets can sound different over different beats, how you can accent triplets or accent different groupings differently, and they know that intuitively, and they'll just put words to it and it'll sound good. very, very like overlooked skill. It's one of those things where it sounds so easy. You start to you ask someone else to do it. They sound terrible. They don't know why, and even the person who's doing it can't describe why, and so that's where I kind of come in and plug those gaps. I'm like, okay, why this sounds this way is because, these notes are displaced, blah, blah, blah. But the skill of being able to internalize rhythms, especially like more difficult, more complex rhythms or groupings of 5s or 7s and stuff, really overlooked skill. Very common in high level rap. Yeah.
And would you say some people like naturally have that, but then if people don't naturally have that, they can learn it obviously. And
yeah, I mean, I would be careful about saying naturally. I think there are people for whom music, rhythm and melody and harmony are embedded in them like culturally, like they're exposed to it culturally.
Sorry, it comes to them naturally.
Yeah. So like from a child, for example, if they grew up in church or they grew up going to the marae, singing, harmonizing, doing all these rhythms, drumming, all this kind of stuff. When they grow up, they have a deep sense of rhythm and how it functions in different contexts. People who don't have that, they will struggle a little bit more. But yeah, it can be taught. You just have to wind it back to first principles. And you also just have to dispel the notion that it's like, oh, some people have it or they don't. Like, it can be taught, it can be learned. It just requires a lot more patience and dedication and study. Just like learning a second language, really. Like anyone can learn a second language. Yeah. But for those who didn't grow up speaking that second language, it just takes a bit longer. And they might not ever completely sound native, but they can be fluent, and effective in it.
What are some skills that artists should develop to improve their flow?
Ooh, drums, play drums. You don't have to learn how to be an incredible drummer, but learning some of the basics of drums, learning like timing, learning time signature, learning subdivision, all the kind of stuff that you're learning drums. I mean, other instruments it applies to as well, but very much drums. That will just take you to another level because it will just enhance how you even approach and understand it, and also just give you a tool set to expand it in ways you might not have thought to if you didn't have drums in your tool set. So yeah, just learn some drums, go on YouTube, learn some basic beats, learn some fills, learn some stickings, learn some timing. Yeah.
Was it drums for you first?
Yeah, drums was first. So no, technically it was piano first. I learned piano when I was really small, but drums was the first instrument I really loved.
Before rap?
Yeah, way before. Yeah, way before rap.
So you think that kind of really helped your foundation of understanding, that all links into each other?
Yeah, 100%.
See, all those things you do that you don't know.
Yeah. Also vocabulary as well. Like, because the thing is it's really important because when you start to understand rhythm and you understand how it functions, you'll get to points in songs where you're like, oh, I need a word or I need a phrasing that does this rhythmically, but it needs to mean this. Now, if your vocabulary isn't good, you're really going to struggle with that.
Yeah.
If you've got a good vocabulary, it will just open things up. Yeah.
So like skill sets across. Read the dictionary.
Read the thesaurus, read the dictionary. Yeah.
And all the things that sometimes you don't think will come in handy, they do, Sometimes there's a skill and you're like, oh, why did I even go and learn that?
Yeah.
It's like 10 years down the line, you're like, oh, so good I did that. Yeah. It all kind of adds up. What do you think we could be doing in Aotearoa to help rap and hip hop artists grow in and outside of New Zealand?
Ooh, that's a good question. I guess there could be sort of more rap and hip hop developed, rap and hip hop focused development kind of programs. A couple months ago, I ran this really cool camp, or not really camp. It was like a writers' night for rappers. So I got rappers together and we did kind of like a song hubs, but for rap and hip hop, and that was really cool. And it sort of made me realize that something like more like broader and deeper with that could be really cool, because in the 3 or 4 hours that there wasn't much of a chance to like coach people through different ways of approaching their writing. It was just like, let's just get the writing done and the collabing done. But I think more time invested into just like teaching and coaching and exploring different ways. And the other thing is there just kind of needs to be a little bit of an attitude shift in terms of like the rappers themselves, because there's this kind of culture in rappers, like as soon as you start rapping, I'm the best ever, I don't need to learn nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Flexing.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time that's like holding people back. So there kind of needs to be sort of a controlled and a selective humility that allows people to enter spaces where they can learn, they can collaborate and are open to input that. Do you think it's a good idea for people who do have that mentality? I mean, I remember when we used to do ciphers. We used to go to ciphers, and that's like kind of a way of upskilling without being like, oh, I need to go and like
learn you know how you say some people might not want to learn publicly and go out there and be like, someone come and teach me. Is there other ways, which is like through ciphers, through
I think ciphers,
going to writing nights, throwing yourself on the deep end?
The culture of jamming, I think, is really important. So it feels like over here in Aotearoa, jamming is seen as like something where you got to go and be good already, you know what I'm saying? Or be amazing already and just showing what you're, you know, rather than being like, okay, I'm contributing to this culture and I'm trying to improve and I'm helping other people improve. So people, because it's not quite like that, people they either don't feel comfortable themselves or they feel like apprehensive about going or something. And I think that's not helping.
I do think it's like, just thinking about it now, I think it might be social media. People think, oh, what if someone films me and it gets put out there? Maybe because when I don't know. No one was filming us. No one was filming us. It's just like, oh yeah, I mess up in this moment. That's okay. It's okay. I'm getting better, and you upskill, and then you see the next person. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come back and be better than next time. And now maybe there's this thing of just like, oh, but what if this video gets leaked of me messing up during a freestyle,
just sounding trash,
sounding trash, and that could ruin my career.
Exactly, it's one of those things also because I think social media in general is like a highlight reel. You're just constantly exposed to people killing it because that's what they wanted to show you. So you think you need to always be killing it. And you think your favorite rappers have never mucked up or never, sounded stupid, but they do all the time. It's like a training ground, right?
Yeah.
Like athletes, when they train, that's when they make their mistakes. They go to the world stage and they compete and they do their best and they're brilliant there. But in the training grounds, that's where they're trying stuff. That's where they're failing. That's where they're falling, all kinds of stuff. So I think, the same for rappers. So there's probably a responsibility on the behalf of people in their community to create these safe spaces, right? Like, is it a space where you'd be like, okay, no phones in here? Because we don't want people recording things. We don't want things, getting out and harming people. Maybe it's that. Or maybe it's just a general attitude of just being like, hey, look, try stuff up, support, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not about being the best. It's about like just doing.
And I think no one's out there trying to film you and put it out there. It's just, I can imagine people, younger artists, like getting in their own heads about what if, and it's just like, no, it's also like, it's all part of the journey, like seeing documents of you across the board, like if I look back over all my videos and stuff, I was just like, oh damn, cringe, but it's just like, that's how you got better. It's just like, and it's okay for people to see your development,
see the improvement,
your improvement, and I just wish people would like just be a bit more fearless in that 100%. Sense of just like, and that's how I think how you develop and get better. It's like throwing yourself in the deep end. So when you hit a creative block, what strategies do you use to break through that?
This is gonna sound conceited, but I don't get creative blocks because like
me neither.
No. Okay, it's because like I just reframed what a creative block is. If I am not feeling creative, it's because there's something I haven't experienced, something I haven't thought about, or something that has not happened to me yet, so that needs to happen, that can drive that creativity out. And because I do so many things, I just don't need to be creative all the time. Like I'm a mixing engineer, I'm a mastering engineer. Okay, there's mixed work to be done. You know what I'm saying? I can express some creativity that way, right? And then, I'll be on a walk and I'm like, oh, there's something to write, and I'm back in the studio. Another good argument for diversifying your skill set, right? I it's been a while since I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to write. What am I going to do? Because I just fill my time with so many things.
I think it is a mindset as well as like, having those different outlets to just like, creativity is not just one thing, So you're just being able to, even if you paint or you do other things, or so sometimes I feel like it's also okay to just be and like, just like, what do you call it? Like if you don't have those moments of silence or just like chill, then it kind of, when you have those moments, it highlights the times you are, I feel like I've done my best work when it's like a calm before the storm, almost I see it as.
Yeah, and I think that there's just something to be said about like just living life and experiencing things, right? Because like the best songs come out of genuine experiences, whether it be deep hurt or deep joy or something like that, and you need to experience it. Like you can't manufacture that.
No.
It has to happen to you. So if you're in a space where like I don't know what to say, then it's probably not your fault. It's probably because right now there just might be nothing to say for you. Just wait till there's something to say.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Do something else.
You could do something else.
Yeah.
What's your number one tip for emerging artists that they can start doing right away? Like,
Ooh, that's a great question. Damn, I wish I should have got these questions in right. Number one tip for artists that they can do right now. I would say, yeah, to be honest, it probably comes back down to those 5 things that I talked about. But there's something that undergirds that. It's like the introspection. Because the thing is, when it comes to deciding how you're going to give value to an audience, it shouldn't be something that you arbitrarily pick and you're like, I'm going to do this and that's going to make me famous or whatever. It should sort of exude from you. So like teaching and communicating ideas is very natural to me. I've always done that. Always done that. So when I sort of slotted into this role of communicating rap, and it was very natural. You know, I did have to find it. I had to find the exact form, but it was a very natural thing. So knowledge of self was really important in that, because when I finally found it, I'm like, of course this makes sense. I always like process by teaching, right? So I think one of the most valuable things an artist can do or always do is be on that journey of knowledge of self, introspection. Like, I don't know, if it takes journaling, if it takes conversations with people close to you, like find out more about yourself, find out what your gift to the world can look like, you know, and just dig deeper. So yeah, in terms of what that might look like practically, yeah, maybe start journaling, maybe start having conversations with people that are close to you about you and ask them what they think of you, like what they think, where they see you, in what situations they see you giving value and stuff like that, and learn something about yourself that you might not already know. Because not only will that sort of flow into your content creation, it'll flow into your music, it'll flow into your branding, which is everything, you know. There's nothing wrong with self-knowledge, you know. There's nothing bad about it. Yeah.
Trial and error. Give things a go.
Giving things a go. Yeah. That's right. Putting yourself out there. Yeah. All that stuff.
Put yourself out there. Don't be scared. Does the outro song? Do you want to give us an outro song?
No. Yeah.
Thank you, Mazbou Q, for being here today and all the knowledge and wisdom that you've shared. It's been great chatting.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Thank you. High five.